This week, we are wrapping up our Studio Ghibli series with Hayao Miyazaki's latest and possibly final film, The Boy and the Heron, or as it is titled in Japan, How Do You Live? This film is everything. It's a fantasy film. It's about grief. It's about growth and coming of age. It's in a lot of ways autobiographical of his life, in more ways than one. It's a introspective and retrospective look at life and creativity and the meaning of life and all of these things. And there's a bunch of birds and some crazy stuff. And I'm very excited to talk about it.
Yes, Hunter, I am as well. However, while we have this discussion about this whimsical, mystical movie, I need to ask you this question. But is The Boy and the Heron good?
Let's find out in roughly 60 minutes or so. Sound good?
Sounds good. We're starting the timer right now, and you're going to edit it so that at the 60-minute mark...
From now.
From now.
Not from the beginning of the podcast, but from now.
From now.
Got it. Okay.
But is it good podcast? Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
We have exactly 60 minutes to finish this. No, to ask the question, to give the answer to the question. Yes. We'll probably do it before it. Oh my gosh.
I am so sorry.
It's okay.
I am so sorry.
Welcome
to the But Is It Good podcast.
I think I messed myself up. Do we have to take all 60 minutes or can we do it earlier?
If we don't take 60 minutes, so 60 minutes from that point in time, when I said now the last time, we have to answer the question. So if the episode's a little short, you have to just add in like open source like sounds, like just sounds that we can put in there until we get to the 60. Or you can take some of our ramblings from previous record. I don't know if you keep those clippings or if they're gone.
Some of them.
But you just throw that in there so that right at 60 minutes, we're answering the question.
You know what we could do? Let's just do the podcast like normal, right?
Yeah.
And we can finish it in 60 seconds.
And then you just take...
We'll just take that part and just paste it.
Yeah.
So, we
might answer it at 50 minutes and then also at 60 minutes because you're just going to paste it there.
Exactly. Perfect. You're perfect. I like that. Awesome.
That way we can't be wrong. Welcome.
I am your host, Hunter Callahan.
And I am your host, Zach Olson.
Zach, how are you feeling, man?
I am going through
better?
It, Hunter. I am better than I was a few days ago. Probably a little worse than I have been the past few weeks. I got freaking pneumonia or something. Like I'm taking these breathing treatments that they give to people in the hospital. They had to like give me a machine. It's a whole thing. So
that sucks, man. Well, hopefully you start feeling better.
Yeah, I hope so.
It's almost Christmas time.
I know. It is Christmas time.
How's your daughter?
She's good. She's snoring. I don't know if you. Yeah. I don't think you can hear it, but she's.
I can't hear.
She's been at daycare all day. She deserved to run and play, because I've been just a stick in the mud for her.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Understandably so.
Yeah.
Well.
How is your daughter and your son and your human son?
Dude, my daughter Addie, who's a dog, just so everyone knows. She's just a mess, man. I gotta tell you real quick. We're gonna do the movie, I promise. Hollis is good. He's a freaking genius. He's just growing more every day. It's wild how much he talks.
Yeah.
Amos is good. He's, good old Amos. Addie, man, she's just so needy, but I get that because, like, I'm that way.
Yeah.
But it was so funny because last night we did this. We had dinner and a movie in bed. Last night was really funny. We had a little tray, and Hollis and Hannah and I watched like Frozen 2 and stuff, and it was sweet. But Hannah fell asleep after we were done, and so I was putting Hollis down. Came back in. She was like out, so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna finish my laundry or whatever and play Zelda, and I did. But I had to go downstairs, and Amos and Addie were like wanting to come up, so I was like, okay, let's be quiet. So I said, come on, guys. And Addie like freaked out, like forgot how to walk. You know how like when they try to run so fast that their feet just kind of slide? She just started doing that, like slid everywhere, and I was like, Addie, oh my God, calm down. So I was like, okay. So I got him at the gate, you know, the gate that goes up the stairs.
Yeah.
Let Amos in because he's calm. And then I was like, all right, Addie, calm. And she like bust through the gate, and I tried to grab her, and she just like fell up the stairs for like a whole 5 minutes. And I was like,
oh, Addie girl.
Well, everyone's awake now. Like, I was like, baby girl, goodness gracious.
She's good. She got a touch of that anxiety, just like me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But we're all good. I just got back from St. Louis. That's where I saw the movie. It was a cool visit. 7th most dangerous city in the entire world, apparently.
Did it feel like it?
No, I had quite a nice time.
Because I think Memphis is up there on the list. I don't know if it's higher than St. Louis or below St. Louis, but I have family in Memphis, and I don't feel, you know.
Apparently, there's like one part that's like really bad, but I was only there for a night, and where I was super cool, so I had a good time. And then got a stupid busy week this week as Christmas parties start happening and all that stuff. You know how it is. Mm-hmm. But we're good, man. We're good. This year's already over. It's crazy. But we have a movie to talk about.
We do. We do. So, Hunter, this is your episode, which means I'm going to let you lead us. I don't know. You always say that when it's my episode,
I know.
So I figure.
It's fine. It's because I just get uncomfortable and I don't know what to say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Zach, I'll let you go first. That's fine. Do you want me to go first, or I can choose? I can choose because it's my episode.
It's your episode. So at this point, you have the reins to the cart, and you can steer us into a lake. You can keep us on the road. Like it's your...
Let's go into a lake. I'll start because I like to hear myself talk. And I want to tell you, I got to go to an Alamo Draft House. Do you know what that is?
That is a movie theater that like brings you drinks and food and stuff, right?
Yes, I got to go to one to see this movie, and
was it
yes,
awesome?
You're right. But the thing, their claim to fame is that like if you talk or like are on your phone, they literally kick you out.
So are there like people watching to make sure people aren't doing that?
Well, there are like buttons on the seats that you can call somebody to be like, this guy's bothering me, or something like that, or and yes, there's people coming in and out all the time because they're serving you food and stuff.
Is it a distraction, them coming in and out? Because I went. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I went to
you're totally fine.
I went to like I think it was an AMC. No, it was Regal, up in Nashville. And it was a similar thing where they're bringing you food and stuff. And they were coming in and out so often. And people were, like, not getting the food that they ordered or whatever. And so they were, like, talking to the person bringing it. And I don't even remember Detective Pikachu. I don't know what happens.
So I will say that it was really cool. I agree with you to an extent.
Okay.
I, next time, would eat before.
Yeah.
And just get a drink. They had a full bar, and like I had some really good whiskey, and it was really good. And the food was good. The food was good, but I'll say like that happened to me where like mine came out and it was wrong, and so I was trying to be like, "Hey, this is not what I ordered."
Yeah.
And like they were super nice and super accommodating, and she was really good, but I was still kind of like, you know,
I'm trying to watch a movie. Yeah.
And then I like when I was signing the check and stuff, I missed something because I actually saw the Japanese version. I saw the subtitled version.
Oh, cool.
And so I get that. I'm glad that I did it because I loved the theater. The theater was super nice. But yes, it was cool, but I can do without full service food at a movie theater. You know what I'm saying, personally?
Yes, I do.
But it was really cool. But yeah, I saw the subtitled version, which I was really excited about. Also a little bummed about because the cast of the dubbed version is bonkers. That's
the version I saw, and it was. But I'll talk about it when it's my turn.
But it was still cool to kind of see, like, to actually see it in Japanese. Dude, I thought it was incredible. I thought it was really incredible. I would like to see it again, though, because it was sort of like when we saw Oppenheimer at IMAX, where, like, it was super late, and I had been working, and, like, so I had, like, about a 30-minute window where I was, like, fighting it, and I was, like, really tired. Yeah, because I loved it.
You were texting me at, like, 1 in the morning.
Yeah,
well, it was midnight for you.
They were an hour behind, but yeah. But I bet I'd been up since, like, 5 Georgia time. So it was a long day, but I thought it was great. I thought it was... these movies are just fascinating to me. This one to me was a bit more poignant than Spirited Away, at least a bit more directly to me.
Okay.
In kind of what it was saying and like its messages, and to me it was really like about, you know, grief and coming of age. But I've done a lot of research on kind of the backstory of the film, and then Miyazaki and kind of how it plays in, how his life played into this movie, I guess. Mm-hmm. That might be a little spoilery, so I'm not going to talk about it. But I loved it. I thought it was awesome. And I'm really happy that I've seen these 2 movies, because I was woefully unaware.
About Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd known about him, but I'd never seen it. And I'm not even sure which one I like better. I think I might like this one better than Spirited Away.
Okay. That's extremely fair. I mean, this is an excellent film, I would say. Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
So I saw this with the English dub. I guess us having a conversation with each other, it's not going to be super clear if, like, the translations are different. You know what I mean? Like with the subtitling versus the English dub. But I am curious if, you know, there's like different context given with the you know, English subtitles versus the English dub, because sometimes they'll change words and, you know, blah blah blah. The cast is bonkers. It's freaking Parakeet King. Sorry, this isn't really a spoiler. There's just a Parakeet King in the movie, and it's Dave Bautista, and I'm like, what the fuck? You know,
that is like, crazy.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
Christian Bale is like, I think Christian Bale is the dad, right?
Yeah, Willem Dafoe is the heron when it's actually a heron.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
I think Kiriko is Florence Pugh. Kiriko is Florence Pugh. Mark Hamill is the granduncle. You didn't already say that, did you? You said Christian Bale was the dad.
Damn, dude, I gotta see the dubbed version now.
So
shit, that sounds amazing.
Actually, no. Willem Dafoe was the pelican. Robert Pattinson was the gray heron.
What?
Yeah. I was wrong. Put it in the Zach was wrong column. Anyways, it was a treat. Yeah, I feel like I'm very glad that you've done some research and you can add some context, because there are definitely some things that, I mean, Miyazaki films are just saturated with meaning, and I don't know. I know I'm not going to get all of it on a first watch, but there are a lot of things that I'm like, oh wow, that's really intriguing. I wonder what the hell that means.
Yeah.
So I'm glad
and
we're going to be having this conversation.
Yeah. I'm not gonna be able to remember all of it, but I've watched and read a few things that kind of was like, holy shit, like this.
Yeah.
And even what's crazy is that even what I've watched and read is like just kind of their interpretation of it. You know what I mean? It's not even like the facts of it, I guess.
One thing that stood out to me in this film, and I'll just leave it with this because it felt really powerful to me, was the fact that at least in the first half, until something kind of major happens, it's almost devoid of music in the background. I don't know if you picked up on that, but it's just like you're listening to him walking through the estate and the wind rustling and all this kind of stuff. And I thought that was, because I feel like Spirited Away is just like constant music in the background.
There's music happening,
Yeah. So that was interesting. Yeah. It's definitely like a grown-up Miyazaki film, even though it centers around the story of a child. Like this, some heavy shit happens.
Oh yeah. Well, it's funny because this is not really a spoiler, but a lot of what I've read, it said, and this makes me bummed that I haven't seen a ton of his stuff, is that like they're saying this feels like the culmination of like there's not so much Easter eggs or references, but like you can see all of his movies in this.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure, absolutely.
Whether it's the art style or like similar characters or whatever.
Man, we got to do more Miyazaki next year.
I know, dude. I'm actually, so this is before we go into spoilers in movie minute. We should have said this earlier. Our schedule shifted because. Poor things. It's so frustrating when they're like, "Hey, it releases this day, but actually doesn't come out in theaters until this day."
Yeah.
Maybe I just didn't do enough research. But anyway, so we're gonna do Godzilla -1 this coming week.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about doing Wonka. I actually thought about saying, "Hey, let's just do another Ghibli movie," because I was like,
I mean, we can if you want to. We could do Princess Mononoke is incredible. We could do that one.
I've heard that they're all good. I actually am really excited to go see Godzilla -1.
I am too.
So Trey's coming home Wednesday. And we're going Thursday night to see Godzilla -1.
Cool.
Anyway, but yeah, like I almost said, I'm down to just do another Ghibli film. 1 second.
He has to take a drink of his cider, which he calls a beer.
No, I don't. I call them ciders.
You used to call them beers.
Well, I don't like beer. Beer's too hoppy. Tastes like grass.
You don't remember going to... we used to go to... Or at least we did it once. We went to Planet Smoothie and got wheatgrass shots. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Beer does not taste like that.
I still take my greens every morning. But most mornings. It doesn't taste quite as grassy, but...
not a sponsor, but what greens do you take, like AG1 or...
No, I've thought about that. I actually don't even know the brand because Hannah bought these for me this time. There was a brand that I used to get from Kroger, but they were good. But these are good. These are thick. They're kind of thick.
Okay.
Which is kind of gross, but it's good.
Yeah.
But I've actually thought about doing AG1. Anyway, it's time for movie in a minute.
Yes, it is.
Zach, can you give me a song ever so briefly between your coughing fits?
It's time. It's that magical time, oh yeah. In December, where Hunters does a movie right in front of you in a minute. Open your ears and listen as Hunter talks about this movie film in 60 seconds, no more, no less. He's going to take exactly the right amount of time.
If I just don't talk, will you just keep going?
Well, I just finished. The was the end.
I see. Okay, here we go. This is The Boy and the Heron, a.k.a. How Do You Live? Which I'll explain if you don't understand that reference.
Book from 1937.
Yeah, but that's actually the name of the movie in Japan.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here we go. This is Movie in a Minute, but The Boy and the Heron. In 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so there's this kid, Mahito. His mom dies. This was World War II. His mom dies in a fire. He and his dad move. His dad marries his mom's younger sister, so he has like a new mom. He's struggling with that. He can't accept her. Then there's grief. Anyway, he goes to this new place. He's getting settled in his new life. This gray heron is like bugging him. And it turns out this gray heron's like a weird bird man. Anyway, he goes into this tower place, and it's this whole fantastical world. His grand uncle is there. He's created these crazy worlds. He goes to this place with these pelicans that eat ghost little people, and then he goes to this place with like these parakeets, and there's a parakeet king, and all this kind of stuff happens. It's wild, crazy stuff. He meets his mom as a kid. His mom's young, and she can like control fire. Anyway, he meets the grand uncle, and he's like, "You're my bloodline. You are the heir to all of this. Please take it and build your, this new world." And he says, "No, I want to go back to the real world where I can live and with my dad and stuff."
And there you have
Probably should have added that the tower collapses and the fantasy world
is destroyed.
Bye-bye. But I did my best.
The pelicans
and my best is enough.
The pelicans eat. In
my opinion, wara.
They eat, but what are those if not spirit sperm? Because they are little little white balls that float up and then become humans.
Spirit sperm.
Spirit sperm.
You heard it here first, folks.
We've unlocked the secret.
Okay, so where shall we begin? The beginning, I guess. So it's a tough one to kind of do chronologically, but I'll start out by saying that a lot of this, so what I've learned is like, a lot of this is kind of pulls from multiple places, but like his own life, Hayao Miyazaki's life, and then Miyazaki, sorry. I'm on Wikipedia, and I saw Suzuki and Miyazaki in the same glance, and I combined them.
It happens.
And then How Do You Live? Like, it takes aspects of a lot of film, a lot of stories. In Miyazaki's life, like, his mom was bedridden for like 8 years or something like that with like tuberculosis.
Damn.
Which I think comes up in like one of his other movies, like these characters' mom is sick or something like that. In this one, she actually dies. But World War II, his dad, I think his dad or his uncle, somebody built canopies in a factory for fighter planes in the war. Had to leave, all this kind of stuff.
Interesting.
So it's really an interesting kind of start. But I love how we start so, I don't know what the word is, abruptly maybe, or like intense. It's really intense. It's, like...
It's very intense.
Mildly reference to Spirited Away, because I've only seen that one, but it's just very like, she's just riding in the car, like it's
right.
quiet and calm, whatever. And this one is just like, bam.
Sirens.
This crazy thing happens first.
When he's running in the beginning, and he's like, and I know it's probably part recollection, and just like he's like dreaming or whatever, because that seems to be recurrent through the movie. But is he watching firefighters like burn to death at one point? Because at one point there's like firefighters in the flames, and they're like, ah. And I wasn't sure if they were just like, oh no, it's a bad fire, or if they were like literally melting.
I don't know. I can't even really think of that right now. I'm trying to think of that actual visual image, but
it's when he. It's right at the beginning when he's like
bombing. Yeah,
running. Was it a World War II bombing?
That's what I took from it.
Or was it just a hospital that caught on fire?
I took that retroactively because I will be honest with you, and this is going to be. I'm embarrassed to admit this. I didn't really recognize the time period. At first, just with a lot of the Japanese, like traditional Japanese architecture, I wasn't really thinking about when was this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
It wasn't really until I saw like his dad. Well, one, they mentioned like an automobile. I was like, okay, they have cars, but then I saw him like. They showed him at the factory with the World War II canopies. I was like, oh, that goes on a fighter plane.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, okay, this is the 40s.
Yeah. It's the 40s, but I wasn't sure if it was just a fire.
I don't know. I don't think it's ever said. I kind of, when that happened, I kind of retroactively was like, okay, that must have been like a bombing or something. All it says is that it's a hospital fire, so it could be any of them. Anyway, what are you reading?
Wikipedia. It's not giving me the answer to my question.
Yeah. So anyway, they move, and he marries his late wife's younger sister, Natsuko, which apparently was a relatively common practice. And it's done to preserve bloodlines, et cetera, et cetera.
That makes sense. I was thinking, like, when I was watching the movie, I was like, did he literally, like, go to his sister-in-law and be like, hey, my wife is dead. Do you mind if I borrow your oven? Like, I don't know. But that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in a sense, maybe, but it was done to preserve bloodlines. But it's fascinating because this is kind of when we, I don't know, it's interesting to me how like there's so many things going on at once. You know what I mean? Like so many themes and stories. I think Mahito, I think, obviously has a tough time with the fact that like that's his aunt. You know?
And
you know what I'm saying? Like,
she looks
me,
like his mom, and she keeps trying to like be his mom.
I mean, she even says like, "I'm gonna be your new mom."
Mm-hmm.
Like when they first meet.
That first day, I don't think he says a word to her.
Nah.
Wow.
Nah. Well, it's weird because like there was something that was said. I think I heard it in one of the videos that I watched of Hiyao saying that like he really prefers to write like the happy-go-lucky, full of energy, full of life protagonist. The kids who were on adventures, yada yada yada. But he was like, I'm not, and he does that because he's not like that. But this was like his attempt at writing a not sad, but like a serious introspective character that's
that wants to kill a heron.
That's kind of doing the work, I guess. And it's funny because, sorry, I know that I'm rambling, but I've watched a lot of stuff and I'm really excited to kind of get your thoughts on it. There's a lot of theories that like Mahito is a young Hayao Miyazaki, and the grand uncle is the current Miyazaki. And
interesting.
Throughout the film, we see one version of learning at the beginning of his journey, and the older one looking back. Now, in the context of the film, they are different characters. It's not like there's some time paradox at work here. But I think that's really fascinating. You know,
is cool.
Especially when we get to the end, which I will get to, and I thought was profound and brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a really, like, if you ever watch it again, it's a really cool way to look at it. You know what I mean?
That's really interesting. So, I mean, could it be? Well, no, because the tower is destroyed at the end and he's back home. But I was, for a second when you said that, I was like, what if that is him? Because it seems like the different doors in the tower, while they say it leads to different worlds, at least in the English dub version, it seems like it leads to different times.
Yeah.
Sometime. Because of the ending. So it...
Like, when when they tell the story of, like, how his mother vanished for a week or whatever and then came running out, I think that was when Mahito lets her out, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's super cool.
And she's...
At least that's how I took it.
She's been in that place for God knows how long. But when she leaves, it's as if she never went. Even though it seems like Mahito takes the lessons with him. Or do you think she's just like keeping the secret that she's not telling them that she was in this crazy place and she was Azula from Avatar?
I think they said some time had passed. It had been like a week or something like that, or a few days. But for her, she'd been there for who knows, like you said, for who knows how long, for like an indefinite period of time.
But when they're talking about that, they say, and she came back and she didn't know what had happened, or something like that. Or maybe it's because what happened didn't happen to her, like out in the world didn't happen to her. You know, I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, or it's that one of the final things that they say to each other is that you're gonna die in a fire. You know.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And she's like, worth it. That's like Arrival. You know, like I love Arrival where Amy Adams' character, it's like you're going to have a child and she's going to die of cancer in 5 years. And she's like, I still want that love. And like, that's just fucking crazy, man. Like that's...
You want to know something crazy?
Oh my gosh. What?
You want to know something equally, if not more crazy?
Yes, please.
I've watched Arrival once. And it was when I was in college, and we didn't start it until like 2 a.m. I've seen like 30% of Arrival, and I slept the other 70%.
Oh, well, then I just ruined it for you. Sorry.
It's okay.
Arrival's incredible. You need to go back and watch that.
I do. It's on the list for sure. Now I'm thinking about. Sorry, you saying
please.
that.
Let's just go off the rails, man.
That
this is that kind of movie.
You've got young Miyazaki and old Miyazaki, and they're both like looking. He's looking at like his future, and old Miyazaki's looking at his past. It reminds me. This is gonna sound crazy, but there was this music video from our youth, from an emo band called The Used. And in the music video, I thought it was the most profound thing I'd ever seen. It's not. But in the music video, there's this child who comes across this like giant mansion, and there's like, he's like in a bookstore, and he opens this book, and there's like this old man on the cover, and he gets like sucked into the book, and he's in like this crazy fairy tale with like, I don't know, like shining themes going on, and like all this crazy stuff going on. And then at the end of the music video, it like fast forwards, and he like turns into this like old cartoon man, and he's the man in the book. So it's like he was looking at himself from the beginning, and I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy!" And now I'm thinking about that for some reason in the context of old Miyazaki, young Miyazaki, like both looking at the same, you know.
Well, it's funny because like I said, I don't think, and I would actually definitively say it is not the same characters in the movie. Like it's not him older.
Yeah.
But I think it's fascinating because it's almost like it's almost like this movie is Miyazaki saying to his younger self, like, would you do it all again? You know what I mean? Like he's telling.
So it's the eternal recurrence.
But it's like he gives him like the chance to. Sorry, this is the end of the movie, to like take over and like build his own tower. And Mahito says no, and it's like, I don't know. Like some have said that this is him saying like he wants to find an heir to Studio Ghibli because the dude's 82, right?
The dude is 82.
And so it's like making peace with the fact that he might not, because at the end of it, I think he even says like something along the lines like the message that is kind of given to Mahito is like, go build your tower, like go make your life. How do you live? You know? I think that's what's so funny about the title, like, and also that book that's in the movie. Actually, it's a real book. How Do You Live? Is that in some ways when he like finds the book, you know, and he sees his stepmom aunt walk out in the woods, and he finds the book, and he's from his mother, and he's crying and stuff. And I feel like in that moment, it's read like, how do you live? Like, how do you live? And he's learning like what to do, how to be. But then at the end, it says, how do you live?
Oh, shit, Hunter.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, whoa.
Oh, shit,
But
Hunter.
I love that. You know what I mean? Where it's like.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what we see. I don't know. We kind of see him learn how to do that, how to live, you know. Anyway, we went straight to the end, but it's so good, man.
Which is also like pointing towards. I mean, you're right, yeah, but that's also like that final, not the final scene, but like the culmination between grand uncle and Mahito, when he's like, you can create something better than what I've created. You can create something pure. And what does he say? Like devoid of malice, I think is the word. Yeah. And I feel like in real life, I feel like in many films that I've seen, Studio Ghibli films, one of the main messages is that like the youth of the world can create something better, even through like the really challenging shit that the youth goes through, especially like in the present day and in the 40s. I mean, shit. You know?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like on that same note, it's like he kind of tells him like, here, these pure blocks, use this to build something free of malice, like you said. And
then Mahito's like, I hit myself in the head with a rock. Yeah.
Well, he's saying like that wouldn't be real. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, I'd rather have the bad and the pain with it. And, like, that's just super powerful. But it's fascinating.
These films always teach me something, because if I had been in that, I would have been like, heck yeah, I'm going to build the greatest little building block tower, and it's going to be the perfect world. Probably would have sucked.
But it's, you know, I don't know. I just think it's like, I don't know. I love that. I love that. It's sort of like Inception, where, like, now hang with me, where, like, I don't know his characters. It's,
you mean the scene where they kick the chair into the water?
No.
Okay.
when he opens up the safe and, like, he sees his dad dying, and he's like, "Are you disappointed that I'm not you?" And he's like, "No, I'm disappointed that you tried to be." And it's like, that's a powerful message of saying, like, no, like, you can create something better than me by not trying to be me. Mm-hmm. I was watching some, you know, deep dive in this movie, and there's a scene where it's like a banner, or, oh, no, it's the arch. There's an arch somewhere. I think it's the arch that leads into the tower. And I remember seeing it, and it's in French. And I was like, I bet that's from Dante's Inferno. And I was right.
Is it in French?
Well, I think it's in French. At least the original, like, one from Dante's in French. But it says something along the lines. It's quite poetic and extensive, but it says, like, if you try to be me, you will die. And it's saying, like, if you what is it? It's like, if you learn from me, you will die. And it's like, if you take the knowledge and try and imitate me, you will die. If you take the knowledge and you create something new, you will live. Something like that. And it's like,
isn't that almost, well, in the English dub version, not that exact same quote? Because I know what you're talking about. It's when he and Kikiro are walking up the path, and then, like, you see the lights turn on, and he's like, we got to go in there. The arch in that doorway is what says it.
Yeah.
And then when they get into the other realm, if you will, the golden arch that he reads above that gate basically says, like, you know, if you try to learn from me, you will die, or something like that.
That might be where it is.
So it might have, that gate may have been, like, the first half, or are you saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, because he reads that.
One of those. But it's I don't know. Like, I love that, and you kind of see. I mean, it's a coming of age, obviously, but
coming of age with, like, violent. So the only other. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But if you watch, like, if you just rattle off and do a marathon of all the Studio Ghibli films, most of them are, like, cute, cuddly, or, like, whimsical, like, either Spirited Away or, like, cuter. And then there's Princess Mononoke, which is, like, violent and bloody, and this has that tone a little bit, you know?
Dude, when he smashed his head,
yeah,
I was like, that's a lot of blood, dude.
Or, like, the pelican, when the pelican was, like, dying.
I was about to say, like, that's a really powerful scene too, because like, he goes from like being angry with the pelicans because they're eating the wara and, like, wanting them to be, you know, whatever, to then he realizes that it's awful because there's nothing else for them to, like, they're starving, you know. And that hold on a second, I actually see sorry, I'm on Wikipedia, someone upon the cast. I want to see who all is who. Dude, Mark Hamill has a Grey Knuckle. That's freaking crazy.
Yeah. So Willem Dafoe was the pelican. So when that's going on and he's, like, spitting his wisdom about, like, we have nothing to eat, Willem Dafoe.
I'm gonna have to go and, like, see the dubbed version because, like, I'm a little disappointed that I didn't get to see it, but, you know, still.
See, what's interesting about that, I didn't know that the Japanese version with subtitles was available. Otherwise, I probably would have wanted to watch that first. And the only other thing that I'll say is that everyone fit except for Dave Bautista.
Really?
Yeah. His voice does not fit a parakeet king. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. Dave, I love you. Yeah.
Anyway, no. So like in that scene, yeah, like he, there's just so much growth, and maybe it's too fast. Who knows? But he goes from that scene to like even when like what's her name in the world? Himi.
Mm-hmm. Lady Himi.
Yeah, when she's like blowing stuff up and destroying, like all the pelicans are getting killed, or whatever, and he's saying like, "Don't kill the wara wara." To fast forward a few minutes, and then he's talking to the bloodied pelican, and it's just like, oh wow, like things aren't what I thought they were. Like it's not as black and white as like good and bad.
Yeah.
And this pelican's like dying, and he's like, "We have nothing. Like I can't. It's all we have to eat." So I watched this thing. Speaking of Dante's Inferno, well, not really actually. There's the theory that the Warwar represent like reincarnation of some degree, right?
Spirit sperm.
And spirit sperm, and they were talking about Hindu. I think it's Hinduism, and there's like 6 realms of. Can you hear my stomach? My stomach's like talking. Goodness gracious, that was loud.
You hungry?
I guess so. There's like 6 realms of something. There's heaven, then there's like demigod, then there's human, then there's another one, then there's the hunger realm, and then there's hell. And so they were talking about it like when he first gets there, he's in hell, then he goes up through all these things. And obviously when the real world is like the human-esque one, and then the grand uncle is the heaven, the paradise, yada, yada, yada. But they use the pelicans as like the hunger realm of like, you're always thirsty and hungry and you'll never get it. And I was like, that's super heavy.
There's a similar idea
sad.
in Buddhism.
I think it might be Buddhism. Though.
There's this
yes,
ghost realm. And in the ghost realm, there are these like hungry ghosts who have like a giant stomach and like a really tiny mouth.
This is it.
Yeah,
You're right. Because I remember I recognize the phrase "hungry ghosts."
Yeah.
Like hungry spirit, and like they can't ever get satisfied. And then at the end, when they destroy the tower, he even says like, "Oh, good, the pelicans made it too."
Yeah.
Like it's wild. Anyway, sorry.
But, it's interesting because in certain like sects of Buddhism, it's thought that what you're reincarnated as is like based off of what you did in your previous life, right? So if you're the hungry ghost, you were probably a glutton. It's like it's the equivalent of being like sent down to like that ring of hell,
Mm-hmm.
Except you're on Earth or in the ghost realm. Anyways, so like bugs are probably people who acted like bugs. I don't know. Like, but that's
profound.
Oh goodness. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Am I boring you?
No, I'm just tired. I had a beer, so now I'm sleepy. Sorry, I had a cider. Let me make sure I'm correct.
You said
I just
let the record show. 20 minutes ago, Hunter said, I don't call them beers. And 20 seconds ago, Hunter said, I had a beer.
I had a beer. Let me ask you this. So what to you were the parakeets?
I wasn't sure. At one point I was like, because they had like these like flags that reminded me of the Iron Cross, and I was like, are these Nazis? Like, what is going on? But I don't think that's the case. I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Well, maybe because like apparently, now I didn't so much get this when I was watching it, but the Parakeet King, the parakeets I can understand, but the Parakeet King I didn't get the reference. But apparently, there's signs that call him Duke.
So there's like banners outside that say like DUCH, like Dutch, Dutch.
Yeah, and apparently like there's a theory, maybe it's right or wrong, that in Italian, if you said like that, it's like Duce, and that's what they used to call Mussolini. and so you actually might be right, where it's like a fascist kind of regime. But I definitely got the parakeets as like sort of the if you learn from me, if you imitate me, you will die. That crowd of like they're just kind of all the same. It's like a mindless following, you know?
Yeah. What's interesting though is that the grand uncle isn't chopping people up and eating them, is he? But they want to chop people up and eat them.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like, so do you think he talks about how this world has malice, but he made it? What do you think that came from? Do you think he was? You know what I mean? Like, why do you?
All them dang old books he read, man. I thought that was so sorry. We can get back on a serious note here in a second, but I thought it was so funny that they were like, brilliant genius man who read too many books and became evil. I was like, what? But anyways, yeah, bringing it back. I don't know. It's an interesting question. He does seem to go about things in an interesting way. Like, he was in the tower at the beginning, or like not the beginning, but like, I don't know, like 40 minutes in when they go in the tower and he like throws down the rose and it like shatters.
And and he tells the Heron to be his guide or whatever.
Yeah, and I feel like if he just wanted like a replacement, he could have been like, hey man, come on up, let me show you around. Rather than like sending him through the ringer. I mean, I don't know if that's malice or if that's like, I want to see if this boy can go through these trials and tribulations before I, give him the opportunity.
Yeah, it's interesting too because like,
but he seemed malicey when he was up there.
Yeah, like
down.
I didn't see him as like, I was like, that guy's probably not fun to be around. Like I didn't take him as like, oh, that's a good guy.
Right. Right.
I wonder if he did that thinking like, oh, he'll want to create a world that's pure now because
if he sees
sucks.
the shitty parakeets,
this one sucks.
The shitty Mussolini parakeets and the sperm-eating pelicans.
It's funny, I wonder if he is like, there's like a theory of like, the more you try to deny something, the more you deny a part of human nature, the more prevalent it becomes. Where it's like he tried so hard to make a world without the pain of being human, right? Mm-hmm. That it still like seeped its way into it until it destroyed itself. Maybe?
Quite literally. What was the floating thing? Was that a bean? Or was it a seed? Like, what was it?
Was that... So they told a story where, like, some meteorite comes down to Earth. Was
sure.
That the meteorite?
But the meteorite was, like, what the tower was built around. So, like, when they're, like, crawling through all those little holes and shit.
I don't know.
Like, in... Okay, cool.
I saw... In one of the videos I watched, I saw, like, a painting that apparently influenced... him, and it looked like that.
Okay.
So I don't know. But I don't know what it's just like this. It's almost like what's the freaking thing called in Space Odyssey? The tower has a name.
I don't remember.
Anyway, it's like represents this. It like represents like all knowledge or whatever. Maybe it's like that kind of idea. What do you think of the Heron?
I'll be honest with you. For the majority of the movie, I was not a fan of the Heron.
Yeah.
I thought he was annoying. I thought he was, like, conniving, But he grew on me at the end. It was interesting because I felt like I was, like, an hour and a half into this movie, and I was like, I feel like I haven't seen the Heron that much. But then the Heron came back for, like, the last 30 minutes. Yeah,
it was something where I saw that it was like he operates like outside of the story almost, or he's just kind of like he appears when he's needed and when he's gone. It's like, you know what I'm saying? He is
like a quirky, weird, annoying Gandalf.
Yeah, I got you. What was funny though is that I will say though that when he started to like shift, I was like, what is happening?
And you see the nose and the teeth, and he doesn't have any lips.
Well, yeah, like it was something where it was like, like his nose and teeth, but then like you started to see like an eye underneath the beak, and I was like, what is this?
I do think it was funny how the pelican was, or the heron was cracking me up at a couple points because he would just like fly by the window and give the side eye and just like keep going, or like when he goes in the tower and then just like looks out, like did he see me?
Yeah.
Did he see me come in here?
It was funny. Like I don't know. Like it was odd to. His transformation was kind of strange to me. I didn't really love it, but I mean, it worked. And like in the movie, it didn't bother me. I was just like, all right, this is not what I thought was going to happen, but okay.
Goes from this graceful creature to like Wario, kind of,
basically,
with like a wart nose. I have a question. I have a question for you. Maybe you read something about this. Maybe you watched it in a video. Is there any significance to the fact that like him having part of his feather means he has control over the heron?
I didn't say anything about that. I actually forgot about that until just now.
Cool. That's
or like he gets shot through the beak. Because he says like that's something like my seventh.
Yeah, that's
lucky
my
feather or something like that.
In the English dub, it's literally like my seventh feather, like not my seventh. It's just like my seven feather. Like if you're playing billiards, it's like the 7 ball. You know. And I just that's one of those things that I'm like I'm sure this means something. Seven Feathers Casino. Canyonville,
I don't
Oregon.
See anything about it.
Maybe Miyazaki's been to this casino in Oregon.
What is significant about
heron? 7 feather.
7th feather.
It's probably nothing.
I don't know. 7th feather gives natural shelter. What does the Bible say about the 7th feather?
So he took his shelter feather.
I don't know. That is my answer. Also, Zach, just so you know, we have approximately 10 minutes.
Indigenous
we have to answer the question.
7 feather crosswalk in the town of Coburg. Love, respect, courage, honesty, humility, truth, and wisdom.
So if it's the 7th feather, that's what, wisdom?
Wisdom, yeah. 7 feathers in the Oklahoma flag. A symbol, Native American Osage battle shield. Killers of the Flower Moon. We're back. It's full circle.
It's all connected. Well, what else do you want to talk about? Because we have...
Oh my God, there's so much to talk about. Here's the thing, Hunter. We could go an hour and a half, and you're just going to take the answer and just boop it right in there. So I don't think we need to rush. What did you think? Okay, let me ask you this. When you saw Himi with the fire, were you thinking that's his mom? Because I kind of was.
Yeah, I was. There was...
And I was like, oh, that's cool. But then I was also like, oh, that's kind of fucked up.
There was something where it's like, I think it was an image. It was some sort of imagery, like how she was drawn.
Okay.
Where I was like, that's his mom.
Yeah.
That's his mom. I don't think it's fucked up at all. I think it's really...
She dies in a fire.
Hold on
and
a
then
second.
He gets to the like spirit realm, and she's like a firebender. Like, come on.
Hold on. When you get to the end of the movie and you get context that she knows, that it's like, which I'm not sure how this works as far as time is concerned, but that he's like, you're going to die in a fire. And she's like, that's fine. It's worth it. I get to have you. You know what I'm saying? Like, she takes what it's supposed to be her destruction, and in the physical world it is. And he uses that as her strength.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, so let me contextualize this for you. Imagine if I died in a wood chipper, okay? And then you went to the spirit realm and found me, and I was like throwing saw blades or something, you know, like just, and you were like, oh, cool. Oh, wait. Like I was like wood chip man in the spirit. He's taking a sip of water.
I get that. When you say it like that, it does kind of sound fucked up, but
sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, I could just see that between me and you. I'd be like, "Hey, man,
By the way,
what you doing?" You know, and you'd be like, "I feel like throwing some wood." But like, why? Why do you feel that?
Yeah, why does she? So does Kiriko?
You ever wondered?
Does Kiriko have powers? Does anybody have powers except for Himi?
Let's find out. Why does Himi have fire powers? Boy in the Heron. Because I don't know. I don't think she says.
Because.
Oh, okay. Well, that is kind of fucked up. This is just from Reddit. It says, I imagine the reason why Himi has control over fire inside the tower is to draw a contrast with how she died in the real world. Burning alive in a firebomb, juxtaposed with this otherworld version of her who is still alive and can manipulate fire at will. It demonstrates the theme of balance.
Kind of fucked up, Hunter. Kind of fucked up.
Yeah, a little bit. But I think it's at the same time where it's showing the like that you can take what is perceived as or could be painful, right, in your life.
Yeah.
And use and turn it around and you can change that narrative and change that story and say, no, this is why I'm strong. This is why I'm powerful.
I like that. Yeah. I have another question for you.
Yeah.
It seems to be part of the Boy and the Heron lore that the only humans who can enter this realm are of that bloodline, right? So like even Kiriko, isn't she part of the family?
I think so. Are they not like all like
they're all like grandmas or something, or like aunts
or
whatever. So they're all part of the family, right? So Kiriko's there. You got grand uncle. You've got old mom, new mom, and then you've got the Heron. Who's the Heron? Is he like the uncle that didn't get invited to parties?
Well, that's the thing. Is that
is he human, or is he a dancer?
Turn back, does he turn back into the Heron at the end? I can't remember.
I can't remember if he goes Heron or if he's human at the end.
I think he becomes a Heron again.
So then why was there? Okay, interesting.
But also it says that the Heron, I don't know. I feel like the Heron is like Virgil, and for Beatrice, for Dante. You know, he's like outside the confines of logic.
Okay, we can go.
I've kind of view him as like an extension of like the granduncle's creation. Well, I don't know. That might not work because all the birds in the tower came from when they come back to the real world, they're just birds again. I don't know. Maybe he's just a heron that he manipulated.
And all those frogs and the fish that were like, join us. Join us. Were they in the spirit realm, or can the heron just control fish and and frogs? And little
that was in the real world.
Little like rock things that were like rolling down the hill. You know what I'm talking about? Were those like clams or something? I don't know what the hell those were.
I kept wondering, like when he was still at home before he like went into the tower and stuff, you know. I kept wondering how much, like, what is everybody else seeing? Is this just what he perceives? Is he seeing this? Is it imagined? Is it real? Is it? Well, you know what I mean? I don't even think that we get an answer.
My assumption is that all the aunts or grandmas or whatever they could probably see the things because they were a part of the bloodline. So like even at one point, he wakes up after passing out. And he's like, the heron, and one of them's like, Heron, are you sure you didn't dream that? if any sane grandma would be like, I don't think there's a heron out there. But she was like trying to divert, like, you didn't see a fucking heron, you bitch. Don't talk about the heron, you bitch. You know. And I feel like his dad couldn't see any of that stuff because he's not of the, I mean, he's joined the bloodline, I guess, but he's not part of the bloodline, right? Like he's married in, right?
Yeah.
So he probably couldn't see those things. But he could see Himi, and he could see Mahito. I don't know why. See, I'll say Mahito, and then I think of, like, the minty alcoholic beverage. So I feel like it's wrong, and then I look at it, and I'm like, it is Mahito.
Mojito.
No, it's Mahito. Mojito is the minty beverage.
Oh, you're right. Mahito. Mahito.
Yeah.
Because in what they say in the dub version, did they say Mahito or did they say Mahito?
I don't know.
Because in the Japanese one, it was like ma, like that was the strong syllable. Mahito.
Mahito.
I don't know. What's funny to me is that the heron. I loved this movie. I thought it was an absolute masterpiece, and I'm probably going to nominate it for a Golden Good. So know that when I say what I'm about.
Hunter.
Yes.
But is The Boy and the Heron good?
It is exceptional to say. You could take the heron out of the movie completely, and I still like this works.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it, and I'm sure there's like a big reason. Like I'm sure there's something that we're missing, right? So like the fact that it has a heron in it and it's in the title, but I don't know why it's called The Boy and the Heron. It could have been The Boy and the Granduncle, or The Boy and the Firebender. You know.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like in Japan, it's not even called that.
Yeah. How do you live? You're right.
I think the heron is literally just
the poster,
it's just
even in Japan is the heron. Yeah. So I feel like there's something there. Do you remember the discussion about the lie and like, do all herons lie? And he says yes, but then that would have to be a lie. I feel like that might be part of it too. This like paradox thing, like maybe I don't know.
Do herons symbolize? Heron sightings are often represented with the following spiritual meanings: stillness, abundance, opportunity, and harmony.
Well, that didn't...
He did not embody any of those things.
No. Well, when he was the heron, he was kind of
wait a second.
Still sometimes. He didn't move all the time.
What does a gray heron symbolize?
There you go.
Same thing.
Cool.
I don't know. I'm not sure I agree with that. Herons have symbolic links to renewal and rebirth.
Interesting.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I don't know. He works to me as a plot device and like a Virgil-esque guide. Which actually, hold on a second. I'm an idiot. That's what the granduncle even says. You will guide him through this journey. And that's kind of like all he is. But to your point, he vanishes for a long time.
He does. Then he comes back, and he's disguised himself as a parakeet, even though he doesn't look anything like a parakeet, but they're dumb because they're just followers because they follow Mussolini or like parakeet Mussolini.
Yeah,
it's a whole thing.
We got to figure it out. We got
it down.
We got it. Anyway, no, yeah. What else you got? Anything?
I mean, yeah, but I guess we do need to wrap it up at some point. What do you think? Okay, last question.
Last thing, yeah, hit me.
What did you think about the fact that the heron created like a watery, melting version of his dead mother?
See, that to me, that is when I was like, oh, this is, which I kind of knew already because of how it started, but I was like, this is about grief. This is about,
well, yeah,
like coming to terms with it. But I was like,
but like, yeah.
That's when I couldn't figure, and I still can't really like figure out what exactly like whose side the heron was on, right? I was like, is he just playing games with him? You know, is he just toying with him?
Yeah.
I don't know. You can say something. I'm gonna let Amos in because he's left out. 1 second.
Is it Addie in there with you?
Addie's upstairs with Hannah.
Okay. Well, this is the part in the podcast when I put Hunter on blast for something. So let's see, what can I put Hunter on blast for? He never wears shorts. Like, ever. He's always wearing pants. It could be 9 million degrees. It could be the surface of the sun, and he'd still be wearing pants. Unless he's playing, like, basketball or something. I have seen him wear shorts.
You're talking about how I always wear pants?
You don't wear shorts, like, ever. When you're walking around, like when you're just lounge wear, do you wear sweatpants or joggers, or do you wear like shorts, like basketball shorts?
I usually wear sweatpants or joggers.
See,
I have a pair of boxer shorts. I don't like wearing boxers. I wear like, I guess
briefs.
they're called
you
trunks.
wear whitey tighties.
I wear whitey tighties. Exactly, with holes in them. But I have like a pair of boxer shorts. But I like shorts. So here's the thing. Since we're on this topic, I like, if I wear shorts, I like shorts. I like 5-inch shorts. Maybe a 6.
I like short shorts.
I'll wear shorts to the gym with my like blazers and some high socks. You know, got a whole look going. But I will
blazers.
I got like Nike blazers.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant you were wearing like a. I thought you were going to the gym in shorts and a blazer.
I fucking love that. I'm gonna do that. That sounds awesome.
Can you imagine?
Like dress shirt and a tie and a blazer and everything.
Hey, bro, can you spot me? And you're just like business up top and like gym on the bottom.
That's awesome. No, I don't like. I will almost never wear like casual shorts. That'll like never happen.
Yeah.
I wore black jeans in 100-degree weather.
Yeah. I know.
Now, if I'm at the gym or something, I'll wear like gym shorts, but they're usually like 5 inches, 6 max.
So that when you squat, you don't. Do you squat? Like, do you try to squat even though your knees are bad, or do you just like do other things?
Usually, I'll do sumo squat.
Okay.
Or like the goblet squat. But I'll do usually like leg press or like leg lifts because I can't squat, dude.
What do you think it is that you can leg press, but you can't just like squat, like with free weight?
I think it's the going up motion.
Okay.
It's like the balance thing. I think it's the like my. Oh, dude,
I wonder if you have like a.
It's my left knee is so bad.
Like a UCL something, because like that deals with like stability.
Probably.
Anyways,
and it's dangerous too because on some days like it'll feel like a knife and it just will give out.
Ugh.
Anyway, back on topic. We can wrap it up.
Oh well, then let me ask you the question.
Yes, please.
Unless you have anything else that you'd like to mention.
No, I just thought this was just freaking brilliant. I think it's extremely profound.
Well, let me ask you, Hunter.
Yes.
But is The Boy and the Heron good?
It is exceptional. Dare I say a masterpiece. And I would like to nominate this for a Golden Good, probably like our 15th film, but it needs to be up there.
We're gonna figure it out, but this is on my short list for the year. This is one of my favorite films that I've seen this year. Can I see something real quick? I don't know if this is gonna be on your. I don't know if we talk about like this website ranked their top movies of the year, like in the news section. But I saw this article. I think it was either Rolling Stone or like Variety, but it was like top 20 films of the year. I opened it up, and number 20 was Oppenheimer, and I was like, oh, all right.
Yikes.
Because I feel like Oppenheimer is higher than number 20. Anyways, I just wanted to say
Oppenheimer, I think, to me, might be my favorite one of the year so far, but I'm also a Christopher Nolan fanboy, so
yeah,
I'll acknowledge that bias. Zach, it's time for every movie sucks. Every movie sucks.
It is. Every movie sucks. All right, I got one here.
Yep.
This one's for you.
Wait, hold on, we have to do the song. Every movie sucks.
Every movie sucks. Yeah, it sucks.
Cool.
Which we determined that's the Full House theme?
I think so.
Everywhere
I think
you
right.
go. Yeah. So Stu Sieg says, I am not kidding when I say that this is without a doubt the worst movie I have ever seen in my entire life, and I recently watched The Flash.
Goodness gracious. Here's one. This one's kind of long, so bear with me. Half star. Uzar Jan said, did I miss something? A discombobulated, meaningless bunch of randomness intentionally masked by pretty-looking eye candy animation, a mesmerizing score, and a stacked dub cast. All three just come off as dangly keys in front of an audience to distract them from the absolute mess this film was. Honestly, I don't remember the last time I wanted to leave a theater mid-movie this badly. Damn, he hated it.
Wow. MD says, Miyazaki, you broke my heart. I watched an episode of Bluey before going through that gore, chaotic nonsense, and even then I got more emotion. It's like Spirited Away, but like not spirited at all. I'm confused why the Bluey was mentioned. Like, oh, let's pregame. Let's watch Bluey.
That's hilarious.
Oh, goodness.
Amanda Spizo says, this was the absolute worst movie I've ever seen. I wish I could rate it lower. What a boring goddamn waste of my time. This was completely ridiculous and incoherent. Consider walking home 2.5 miles so I could be put out of my misery. 0 out of 10. Do one more.
Big Man Ross says, this boy think he a bird. Laughing emoji. It was funny when he was like flapping, but he was human.
Yeah, trying to fly.
Yeah.
Wait. Never mind. I can't read that one. That was awful.
Now I'm curious.
Okay, I'll read it, but I wasn't going to.
Well,
it says,
you don't have to, but give me a name so
well,
I
no,
can...
it's not. It says film my demise. Here, I'll do this. I'll cut it out. It says, film my demise. I only watch because I misread the title as The Boy and the Heroine. Not a spoon inside.
Oh, no.
That's awful.
That's
all right.
Kind of funny.
Should I leave it in?
It's up to you. It's a little funny.
Okay, I can leave it in with both claps, just so people know that's how we edit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so shindigs, right? Shindigs.
Time.
There you go, everybody. That is The Boy and the Heron. That is how do you live? How do you live?
Who do you love? How do you live?
Golden Globe nominees. All right, we got a lot to go through. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. Where's the list? There we go. All right. So first we have a new trailer for Godzilla X Kong. What is that? Godzilla multiplied by Kong, Godzilla and Kong, something. New trailer. A new trailer for the Fallout series.
Okay.
Adam McKay is apparently shelving. He's doing a movie for Netflix that was going to star, listen to this, Robert Pattinson, Amy Adams, Forrest Whitaker, and Robert Downey Jr. And he said, never mind. So he's putting it on the shelf, not making it anymore. We got a trailer for Mad Max Furiosa, the prequel. Colin Farrell's The Penguin series has resumed production. We have some interesting news. Avatar 3 will not be called The Seed Bearer, which is probably a smart decision.
Why?
Come on, all the jokes you can make with that. Come on, that's just.
I mean, you can make jokes about way water too.
Well done.
What did I do? I
very intelligent innuendos.
It must be a change in plot because I don't think that they would be like, you know what, penis. So we're gonna change the name of the movie. You know, like I don't know.
Fair. Sean Gunn, James Gunn's brother, is going to be playing Maxwell Lord in the DC universe. Maxwell Lord is who Pedro Pascal played in The Abomination. That was Wonder Woman 84.
Wait. Say that again.
Which one?
What you just said. So, does that mean that because he's a villain for Wonder Woman, he's
not usually in the comics? No.
Oh, who is he in the comics? Is he just a guy?
He's just a guy. He interacts more with the Justice League than he does, and I think he's going to be like a minor character.
Okay.
But speaking of that, Supergirl apparently is going to be appearing in Superman Legacy as well, and casting is underway. Again, I imagine that's a very minor character. And then Poor Things has debuted at 93% certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, I've got one more thing to go over for news. It's kind of long, so I'm going to get my list here. The Golden Globe nominees have been released. I'm going to run through a few of them here, okay? This is the Best Picture Drama, Golden Globe. Ready? We got Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, which I do want to watch, actually, Past Lives, The Zone of Interest, and Anatomy of a Fall.
All right.
Okay? This is Best Picture Musical or Comedy. We have Barbie, Poor Things, American Fiction, The Holdovers, May, December, and Air. I forgot about Air. Air's a good movie. This is Best Director. Here we go. Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Greta Gerwig for Barbie, Yorgo Lanthimos for Poor Things, Christopher Nolan, Martin Scorsese, and Celine Song for Past Lives. I'm going to do just a few more, like the big ones. Best Screenplay, we got Barbie, Poor Things, Oppenheimer, Flower Moon, Past Lives, Anatomy of the Fall. That's kind of how it goes. Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture for Drama. Okay? Bradley Cooper, Maestro, Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer, Leo DiCap for Flower Moon, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, Andrew Scott, and then Barry Keoghan for Saltburn, which Trey texted me and said that that's a pretty good movie. It said it's wild. Best Actress in a Drama, Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon, Carey Mulligan in Maestro, Sandra Hüller in Anatomy of the Fall, Annette Bening in Nyad, Greta Lee in Past Lives, and Kaylee Spiney in Priscilla. Okay, I'm gonna do 4 more. I'm gonna get through all the Best Actor stuff. This is Best Actress in Best Actress in Comedy, Fantasia Barrino or Musical, Color Purple, Jennifer Lawrence, No Hard Feelings, Natalie Portman, May December, Alma Poisty in Fallen Leaves, Margot Robbie in Barbie, Emma Stone in Poor Things. Here we go. This is Best Actor in a Comedy or Musical, Nick Cage in Dream Scenario, Timothée Chalamet in Wonka, Matt Damon in Air, Paul Giamatti in the Holdovers, Joaquin Phoenix in Beau is Afraid, and Jeffrey Wright in American Fiction. All right, I'm going to do 2 more. I'm going to do the Best Supporting Actor and Actress, then we're done. Okay? Best Supporting Actor, Willem Dafoe in Poor Things, Robert De Niro, Robert Downey Jr., Ryan Gosling, Charles Melton, and Mark Ruffalo. That's a stacked category right there. And then Best Supporting Actress, Emily Blunt, Danielle Brooks, Jodie Foster, Julianne Moore, Rosamund Pike, and Divine Joy Randolph. There you go. There's more, but it's a lot.
There's a lot.
A lot of it is like, the rest of it's like television, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
One last one I want to jump to. Best Score. Here we go. This is Ludwig Göransson for Oppenheimer.
Okay.
Driskin, Fendrix, and Poor Things. Robbie Robertson, Flower Moon. Mika Levi, Zone of Interest. Daniel Pemberton in Across the Spider-Verse. And Joe Hisashi in The Boy and the Heron.
Well, there you go.
And then, actually, last one, I promise. This is Best Animated. Boy and the Heron, Elemental, Spider-Verse, Super Mario Brothers, Suzumi, and Wish. There you go.
There you go.
That's my news of the week. That's the shindig.
Yep.
Zach.
Yep. Okay. Is it my turn? My shindig?
It is your turn.
We're going to talk about this Ohtani thing because, wow. So he signs with the Dodgers after it looked like he was going to Toronto. We're not sure if that was just people jumping the gun or if, like, his agent was like, he's about to sign with Toronto Dodgers. Why don't you pay him a shit ton more money? I'm not sure. He signs with the Dodgers. And for the next 10 years, we just have to bend over and take it. Because they're only paying him $2 million a year. So they can legitimately build around their three.
That is bonkers. But that's also going to completely, they're going to be completely screwed up from 2034 to 43.
So,
because they're going to be paying $68 million a year
for
to
10
somebody
years
who's not on the team.
That's a wild financial decision. But they're probably thinking, well, with inflation, that's not going to be as big of a hit because there's no, I don't know if you saw, but it's not, the deferred salary is not prone to interest. So it's going to be $68 million. So in 10 years, that's still going to be a shit ton of money, but it's not going to be the equivalent of $68 million today, I guess. Right?
Yeah. That's wild, man. Like,
it is wild.
That's wild. Now we have to hate them.
I mean,
Dodgers.
Kind of. It feels like it shouldn't be allowed to sign the best player in the league because
probably ever.
Because he's this two-way phenom coming into his like prime right now. He did go through his second Tommy John, but to be able to have that kind of player on your roster for $2 million a year is just, I mean, you're right, they're going to be screwed in 10 years, but it feels like what are they going to do if the Dodgers just win 4 in a row and there's 6 years left? You know what I mean? Like, what are they going to do? Don't you think that would
That's not going to happen.
Don't you think that would be bad for baseball?
Yeah, but that's the beauty of the baseball playoffs. Just ask the Braves that the past 2 years and the Dodgers. Dude, the Dodgers won 100 games this year. Got not Dodgers like the Braves did. I would love nothing more. I would love nothing more. And look, I hate to say it because I frankly, I like Mookie Betts. I love Freddie Freeman. And I like Shohei Ohtani. But I would love nothing more than for the Dodgers just to like underperform for the next decade.
I don't see how it's possible, Hunter. Like, at a certain point, like, the Yankees were really good for a long time because they had the most money, right? Weren't they?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm thinking about, like, this was my introduction to baseball, by the way. Was watching, like, it was either, like, Tom and Jerry or, like, Looney Tunes or something. And it's like there's this baseball team, and they're just, like, hitting home run after home run, and there's just, like, their jerseys like money bags, and it was the Yankees. You know, that was, like, the reputation that they had, right?
Yep.
And the Dodgers can... man, I think it's going to be... You're right that if you take Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, and Shohei Ohtani, and their stats in this past playoffs, they had like 3 hits across the 3 of them, because one of them didn't even play.
Dude, Shohei Ohtani's never played a playoff game.
Yeah. What if he...
Let me just put this into... Hold on. Let me just let you know something, okay? Yeah, it sucks that the Dodgers, of course, of all teams, got Shohei Ohtani. The Angels have had Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout.
Yeah.
And at one point, had Albert Pujols and Anthony Rendon all on the same team.
You said Pujols.
And Mike Trout, who at his peak was the best player in the world, has never won a playoff game. I think he's appeared in one series.
Well, so a couple things. One, wasn't Pujols like near the end of his career?
Yes, it was a really dumb contract on their part, but still.
Two,
he was
didn't Rendon like completely ball out for the Nationals and then just like shit the bed when he went to the Angels?
Yeah. Who says that that's not gonna? Who says that that Ohtani's gonna be the same pitcher when he comes back?
Three, didn't when Shohei Ohtani joined the team, wasn't Mike Trout already in the point of his career where he was like getting injured for half a fucking season?
I'm not. Maybe.
I guess what I'm trying to say is
at least a couple years in.
I guess what I'm trying to say is there was not this established super team in Los Angeles where they had like 3 stars that were like consistently performing at the same time. They are going to have that. I don't see Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman might have a bad month. Freddie Freeman is not going to have a bad year.
Freddie Freeman is always consistent. I will give you that. That is the one thing that he is.
Mookie Betts might have a bad few weeks. Mookie Betts is not going to have a bad year. The only thing that could possibly happen is that like Shohei's really fucking injured and he just signed this deal and he's like not the same. Which I hope that doesn't happen because I love watching Shohei play, even though I'm going to hate him for the next 10 years. And then love him for 10 years after that. But that's like the only thing that I think that could happen. Otherwise, this is going to be just like hell for everybody.
Yeah, but they've got Betts, Freeman, and Ohtani. And we have Acuna, Albies, Olsen, Riley, Murphy.
I hear you.
Harris.
I hear you.
Strider.
But here's the thing.
Reed.
Here's the thing, Hunter. Do you know what advantage the Dodgers have right now that the Braves don't?
What's that?
Good God. Did you hear that?
I did.
I tried to lean on my chair and like the handrest thing just like went all the way down really quickly. I need to lose weight. The Dodgers will just blow a shit ton of money on something. I mean, they just showed it.
That is true.
But that is true. But they only have $2 million on the books. So the only saving grace that we had for like the next year and the next 2 years was that their starting rotation is like ball sack right now. Like they don't have one. But if they're only spending $2 million on Ohtani when they were prepared to spend like 50 plus, now they have 48 plus that they can go sign free. Like they can get Yamamoto. They can trade for Cease. Like they can do these things now because Ohtani's only on the books for $2 million. So just think of like.
I get it.
Zach's minute has been like 10 minutes now, and I just. We'll see.
Have a shot of whiskey to make you feel better.
I will have a shot of whiskey.
And that was very brave of you because that's very hard to talk about.
Yeah.
To whiskey. Oh man.
Oof.
I forgot that I was drinking the Jack you got me for my birthday.
That stuff's smooth.
Yeah, for some reason my brain was like, "Oh, this is still my Apple Crown." It wasn't. I forgot.
Oh, so it was just like it's like when you're expecting to drink Coke, but you have like unsweet tea, and you're like, ugh.
Or like Dr. Pepper or some shit. You're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Anyway,
where can they find us,
Zach? Oh yeah, okay. You're gonna ask me. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at But Is It Good Podcast. You can find us on X at BIIG Podcast. You can email us at biigpodcast@gmail.com. You can email us at butisitgoodpodcast@gmail.com or even butisitgood@gmail.com. Email us in what you want us to do next year. We're going to start doing video podcasts on YouTube, like the full episodes. A lot of them will be like this. They'll be virtual, but whenever we're in person, we'll make it work. That's coming. And then we're going to kick off next year with a foursome. With Ferrari. I think I already said that, but with our good friends Ethan and Brooks. So we got some fun stuff. We're doing Poor Things. We're doing Godzilla -1 next week and then wrapping up with Poor Things. So thank you guys for listening. We are at the end of 2 years. We're still a 5-star podcast. And next year we're going to take over the world, right, Zach?
That's right. Has it only been 2 years? I think it's been almost 3, Hunter.
Has it really?
Well, think about it. There's 52 weeks in a year, right? This is our 152nd episode. So
oh shit.
In 4 weeks we will have been going for 3 years. Right?
Wild. I don't know.
Cool. Although we did take a 2 year or a two week break this year. So anyway, I think we've been going for about 3 years now. So think about that.
Well, we love it.
Chew on that, spit it out, and think about it.
I really have to pee, so
okay.
Maybe I can just cut a.
But is it good podcast? Yeah.